Hey, welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, well, this is the video for you. I've seen plenty of people, I've seen actually more than plenty of people that are down big. I mean, like 50% or more on their entire portfolio, and I just, it's difficult to look at, and here's my advice to you. And if you find this advice helpful, please share, like, and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And let's begin. First thing, you have to reevaluate the position. Uh, if you're looking at down 30, 40, 50% or more, past the 50% mark, you have to consider cutting. And most importantly, before you consider cutting, reevaluate it. Think about it. What are you buying? If you're buying a company that is purely debt, losing money every year, it has no profit, no cash flow, nothing, then why are you owning it? Are you hoping? Well, hoping is not really an investment strategy, is it? And then proceed to think about, why did you buy it in the first place? Are you holding it because someone is screaming in your face and telling you that it's an amazing deal and you should hodl or something? Why are you owning this company? Ask this really important question because it will actually decide all of the steps consecutively. So, are you owning it because some YouTuber told you to buy this company because it was an easy 10x, baby? Easy 10x? Or do you even know what the company does? I've seen so many people own companies that they don't even know what the company does. They're like, I don't know, this is a stock I own, and I'm gonna be super duper rich from this company. You can't own companies that you have no clue about and be overly positioned towards. To elaborate, you can't own a company that you have no clue about and 80% of your wealth is tied to this company. That is incredibly foolish, and you should consider buying index funds. I know every YouTuber goes, yeah, you should not own this stuff, and you got to beat Wall Street. It's easy, the whole caboodle. But at the same time, they're selling you courses that cost thousands of dollars. From that point on, let's consider the second point. You should just cut your losses. If people fall into the trap of sunk cost fallacy, where they're down so much. But what's the point of selling it now if it has the potential of regaining its previous position and you're getting money back. And worst of all, these YouTubers who are losing money on this company or still promising that it will have a massive turnaround and whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, it is important to consider that some of these companies may never come back. There have been hundreds of companies in the dot-com bubble that have went out of business, completely gone. No one even remembers them. No one even, at this point, most people don't even know they existed at one point. So it is important to realize that this thing may never come back, but at least I can salvage what I have and rebuild from that position forward. The next few steps may not be important right now, but they will be quintessential to your future. And I hope that you actually follow these steps because it is very sad to see people destroy, such immense wealth. Maybe it's not immense wealth. Maybe it's, I don't know, an 18-year-old's first $10,000 and, now it's 2,000. 2,000 is better than zero. Take that loss. Consider this as an $8,000 lesson. It could be even more. Shoot, maybe $1 million lesson. But it's important for you to learn and consider what went wrong. And you have to consider what went wrong. Why did you take this loss? Don't be like, well, it's the market and, we lose money and people gain money sometimes. Don't be like that. Be in control of your destiny. This is very important for you to realize that you made this mistake. You bought into this company thinking this is a great investment, when in fact, maybe it wasn't a great investment. Well, hindsight, right? But more importantly, maybe it was just pure speculation. Even worse, I don't know if this is a really new thing. I haven't seen this in the previous years before, and I've been in the market for, at this point, maybe a decade around. I've never seen this many people use 0-day options. with their entire portfolios. It is insane. Uh, I I recommend you don't go on Wall Street bets because it looks rough. Okay, so first of all, most people that are buying these options have no clue what they're doing with options. They don't even understand this stuff. And please, 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 don't use options if you have no clue how they work. I mean, this is a repeating lesson here. Don't do stuff that you don't understand about at all. Uh, but it is, people think it is super easy, you know, and they know the world, but the reality is you don't. And you have to realize how much you do know and how much you don't. And from that point on, you will learn and you will actually prosper. That is a very important lesson. Know how much you know and know how much you don't. It is more important to know what you don't than what you do. And it brings me to my fourth point, which is learn and improve. This should be a valuable lesson. You lost money. Losing money is part of life sometimes. And when you do, take this as a cost of acquiring that knowledge. Okay? Don't down yourself over making this mistake. Only down yourself if you keep making that mistake. And that's why it brings me to my fifth point, which is remember. You know, people go through time and then they repeat the same mistake because they forgot. And I don't know, for some people they remember that lesson because it's such uh, a deep pain within them, and so it is important to remember if it's something you write down and put on the side of your computer as like a sticky note, or maybe I don't know, as a notification that pops up every year or something. Make sure you remember or revisit any note you have posted. And then now you may ask, what should your next step be? How do you learn to actually invest your money? Well, I kind of briefly touched on this by saying you should consider index funds. If you have no clue how to value companies, you don't know accounting, index funds, basically, it is a very good way to be invested because it reduces uh, your risk and thereby reduces your volatility and it gives you consistent return. Can you beat the S&P 500? For sure, absolutely you can. But that requires you to get the necessary knowledge to evaluate companies and also remember, stay diversified. Diversification is very important. Also, realize your risk. I mean, I've seen people buying, for example, Tesla. Why are you buying Tesla? I mean, the company generates such little cash flow compared to how much it is. It is, what if you want to learn how to invest and you don't want to just do index funds? I still think you should use index funds as like maybe perhaps a base to your portfolio. Um, but there are amazing videos to teach you how to invest. I will link some down below. But also remember, you have there's also I'll link some really great books. You should really read those. I know they're really boring. Some of it they're really boring and gets annoying. Some parts are not necessary. For example, one of them I'll list that has a general section. Even Warren Buffett recommends this book. But it has a section about credit and bonds and how to value bonds and stuff like that, and also some history lessons about the Great Depression. You can skip those parts and get to the parts that are, but make sure to actually take the knowledge, take the time to read, take the time to evaluate companies. Don't just skim through the stuff. You don't want to put in the time, the work, and it's perfectly fine if you don't. Uh, you don't have to go through all this all this time to learn the stuff that, although can be very rewarding, is to most people very boring, and I totally understand. And index funds are perfectly fine. Remember, they are perfectly fine. And also, this is very important final lesson. I promise. I've been on a tangent here, but I want you to stay far away from margin. Please, 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 stay far away from margin. If you do use margin, use like maybe 5 to 10% max. Stay safe with margin. They sometimes I've seen such high margin utilization rates. Please stay safe with that. Um, and best of all, just don't even touch it. Don't even touch it. Um, you don't want to get margin called. I know most people just avoid this lesson and just use margin, and then they learn, and then they repeat the saying. Don't use margin, and please learn from everybody. Don't use margin. And that's it. If you found this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and share it to anyone it might help. All right, peace out.